Today we made it up into the Gila wilderness. We are at the Catwalk Recreation Area. This catwalk goes all the way up about another mile from here.
Right. Yeah, it goes up into the canyon. You can see where a lot of the trail falls off and whatnot, and they've made new trails, but really neat.
All that and more
on this episode of Roaming with Rosie.
On our last episode, we showed you some of the most beautiful and accessible geological wonders of Chiricahua National Monument in southeastern Arizona. We stayed in nearby Willcox, Arizona at the Fort Willcox RV Park, where we used our Passport America membership to save 50% on full hookup campsites. The drive from Willcox, Arizona to the Rose Valley RV Ranch in Silver City, New Mexico is just 125 miles. We'll show you more about our campground later in this video. Today we're headed to the Catwalk Recreation Area in the Gila Forest, and Dexter gets to come with us because dogs are allowed there. We're staying in Silver City. That's where we're staying at Rose Valley RV Resort. In Silver City. It's about an hour and a half drive to the catwalk here. It's run by the National Forest, I believe, so $5 parking. Our interagency pass from the National Park Service will be good for us to park here. The Catwalk Recreation Area sits nestled in one of New Mexico's most dramatic landscapes. Here, in the Gila National Forest, about 65 miles north of Silver City, New Mexico, lies a trail unlike any other in the Southwest. What makes this place so special isn't just the stunning scenery. It's human innovation carved into solid rock. We're continuing to travel with our friends and fellow Class A RVers, Bruce and Tina. There he goes, happy boy. Wow, it's clear. A little bit chilly today. As the trail begins, a gentle path winds through high desert scrub, shaded by cottonwoods and mesquite trees, and it follows the meandering Whitewater Creek. More picnic tables over there. But this tranquil beginning is just nature's way of drawing you deeper into one of the Southwest's most unique experiences.
I got started on my all trails.
Blonde Monarch.
Back in the 1890s, this narrow canyon served a very different purpose. Mining companies needed a way to transport water from Whitewater Creek to their operations. The problem? This rugged gorge seemed impossible to cross. Engineers came up with a solution. They built a pipeline directly into the canyon walls. Workers suspended themselves on ropes and used hand tools to carve brackets into the sheer rock face. These brackets held a 4-inch water pipeline that snaked through the canyon for miles. The pipeline workers nicknamed their precarious route the Catwalk. They had to balance like cats on narrow ledges while working hundreds of feet above the rushing creek below. One wrong step meant certain death. The original catwalk operated for a couple of decades, serving mines throughout the region. But mining declined in the early 1900s, and the pipeline fell into disrepair. There's 2 trails at the beginning, each with its own catwalk until they join partway into the narrow canyon. We chose the trail that ran on the left side as you head into the canyon. We think this involved more uneven and more difficult footing. We'll take the opposite trail on our return trip, so stay till the end so you can compare. So we came from that way. We'll go back down this way. During the Great Depression, Roosevelt's New Deal brought new life to the canyon. The Civilian Conservation Corps rebuilt the catwalk in the mid-1930s using wood construction. These young men from the CCC created a public trail that followed the same route as the original Miners' Pathway. The CCC's wooden catwalk served visitors until 1961, when major storms and floods had taken their toll. The Forest Service then rebuilt it again, using the metal walkways and steel grating that we see here today. This trail still follows that same historic route, with handrails and secure footing where workers once balanced on wooden planks. As you enter the canyon proper, the walls begin to close in. Towering granite cliffs rise hundreds of feet on both sides. The creek has spent millions of years carving this narrow passage through solid rock. The engineering here is remarkable. Each section of walkway had to be carefully designed to withstand flash floods. The creek can rise 20 feet or more during the summer monsoon season. The metal catwalk was washed away following devastating flooding in 2012 and 2013. So the Forest Service had it rebuilt again. They took advantage of modern technology and used 3D modeling and prefabricated walkways. We noticed how the rock changed color as we moved deeper into the canyon. The iron minerals created the red rock. Lichen added patches of orange and yellow, and the interplay of light and shadow created an ever-changing canvas on the canyon walls. So they're describing here that this original volcano wasn't your typical volcano. It was more like a whole bunch of molten little potholes and would have looked more like oatmeal boiling. There's all different rock here. As we continue deeper into the canyon, the walkway exited onto solid ground.
Be careful with that piece of wood. That's probably not stable.
They're all moving. Everywhere he puts his feet is moving. We continued on, crossing the creek over stones in the water, then hiked up hills in some areas and squeezed between boulders in others. He's like, why are you making it so complicated? Look.
Just go through.
Yay! That is evidence of how high the river gets. Coming through here, all that piles of wood, branches. This canyon was a hiding and bathing spot for the likes of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, as well as Geronimo and his band of warriors. So today we have the option of staying dry if we can balance, but I gather most days this is flowing too hard. You're going to walk in the water.
Come on, Dex.
Come on. You can do it. Come on.
Come on, buddy.
We could still see some of the original iron brackets that held the mining pipeline. These hand-forged pieces have survived more than 130 years of harsh desert weather. And it keeps going. So it gets a little bit harder of a grid for the dog up here. It does snow back in here, so that's the reason for them making it this way, besides sturdiness. So all this was built by the Civilian Conservation Corps after the Depression. Not sure if they did this in the 30s or the 40s. That looks like one side, possibly of a bridge that connected there, and then this boulder came down. Much of what we see here was destroyed in the 2013 floods. The Forest Service is working to restore the trail through here and upriver. So we made it this far. Looks like that used to be a bridge. It looks like if we went behind there, the trail will continue back up there and that way, but not much further. Maybe another 2/10 of a mile. But Dexter's whining a lot. I don't know that we should chance it. Look at this, is so slick from the water carving it out, but it's beautiful. So we made it almost to the end. Looks like there used to be a bridge across. So now you got to kind of squeeze your way up through the rocks to get the rest of the trail. And it really only goes a little bit farther. It's just not worth it. But we made it a lot further than I thought we'd go. I thought we might just do the catwalk and stop. So we did push ourselves a lot further. The catwalk itself, I believe, is only about 1/4 of a mile in. So we're at almost a mile in. The full trail is 1.2 miles each way. And now there's a lot of downhill involved. Isn't it just gorgeous? Water carved all of this. The return journey offered completely different perspective. Views that were hidden on the way in now opened up before us. And the changing light throughout the day transforms the canyon into a living art gallery. We made it back to the catwalk. What strikes you most about the catwalk isn't just its natural beauty. It's the incredible determination of those early miners and engineers. They looked at this impossible canyon and found a way to make it work. Their legacy lives on in every step you take on this remarkable trail. The Catwalk Recreation Area stands as a testament to human ingenuity and the enduring power of the natural world. And it consistently ranks as one of the most perfect trails to hike and a must-see attraction in New Mexico. That's the way we came up here, which was much more difficult than we think this side is. So we're going to take this side back to the parking lot. I believe this way is accessible the whole way, although it is uphill in some parts. There's the canyon down there. It's just so cool that they built this whole recreational ability to take you through this canyon so that the average person can see it. So there's the other side where we came from when we went up. But this way is so far very nice. Just 4 miles from the Catwalk parking lot is the Double T Catwalk Resort. They have 8 casitas and full hookup RV sites. We didn't stay there, but it does have good reviews, so I wanted to mention it. I'll put a link to their website in the description of this video. Our campsite was in Silver City, about 68 miles south of the Catwalk. Rose Valley RV Ranch also has fully furnished casitas for rent. It's a huge open space with full hookups in 69 spacious back-in and pull-throughs with at least 20 feet of green space between the sites. Management here is very friendly, welcoming, and efficient. We had planned this trip for a few weeks prior, but there was an early spring snowstorm here that caused us to delay our visit. They had no problem with my cancellation in advance, and we were happy to make a new reservation a month later. While visiting Silver City, we stayed here in Rose Valley RV Park, and it is huge. I think it's a seasonal place. There does seem to be some permanent residents, but the park is huge. The spaces are big. I just saw some of the resident teenage deer we were warned about. There. Oh, yeah. But we're down here on Utter Lane. Big pull-through spots over here. Not completely level, at least not our spot. I think we were 70. At space 51, it looks like a permanent spot. 71 is where our friends stayed. Right here. They said they didn't have trouble getting level. Our slope's down in the front. We're 70 right here. We did have a nice 3-sided shelter, which was nice with the wind. Definitely a huge spot. Pulled right in. So this is behind us. Big cemetery. There's a couple of these big cemeteries here. Silver City's a really old town. But I didn't mind. They kept it pretty quiet. Nice big pull-through spot. Number 70.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Roaming with Rosie, and if you did, we'd really appreciate it if you'd share it with your friends and family on social media. And if you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
And ring that little bell, because that way you'll be notified each time we upload new content.
And make sure to leave a comment, that way you could be part of the conversation.
Until next time.
We'll see ya.
Shh, be be very, very quiet.
Come on, let's go.